Hello, this is Dr. Brian Weiss, and I'm back here on YouTube to answer more of your questions. It's been a while, and we've been receiving questions throughout, so thank you for this opportunity. At this time, also, I'd like to announce the new book that my daughter Amy and I have written. A lot of your questions will be answered in this book. I'm showing it now. This is the new book, Miracles Happen, the transformational healing power of past life memories. It's an account of people's incredible and miraculous experiences in workshops or listening to CDs or in other ways. People have written in and I have commented on all of the cases, and together we've created this book. It will be available October 2nd, 2012 in English, and soon to be available in many different languages after this date. So if I'm not getting to your question, I'm sure many of them will be answered in the new book. And I want to start now with these questions. I want to thank, first of all, Augur Wood, who thanks me for giving hope to people. And I appreciate that. That's one of the things that other people have told me about, and I think it's very important to keep hopeful. It's been my experience over many years, decades of doing this past life regression therapy, that we find out that people are souls and not bodies, that they don't die when the physical body dies. We go on, we're reunited with our loved ones, all the things we've been talking about here over the past year or two. And this provides hope to people. This is not the end. This is just part of our journey, part of our spiritual process and progress. And so we should all keep hopeful, because there is always hope. Now to get to the questions. From September 11, 1990, the question is, how can you love someone without a physical body? How do souls feel love in a non-physical space? And I think that it's important to know that when I talk about love in this unconditional way, it's not only physical love or romantic love. That's part of love, of course, and a very important part. But you can love people in spiritual form, of course. We're all spiritual essence, souls. And this is a kind of unconditional, absolute love that does not end with the death of the physical body. This love is forever. So we love on the other side, we come back here, we recognize our loved ones again in many different relationships, and this kind of love never stops. It is an absolute energy. And we write about this in the new book as a kind of energy that's the building block of all of the universes and of all that is. The fundamental energy that is behind all of our creation and our manifestation, this energy of love. It is a love that possesses wisdom, consciousness beyond the brain, and all of these aspects of love go beyond the physical and include the unconditional, the metaphysical, all dimensions, spiritual and non-physical dimensions. So love doesn't stop, love keeps going on, and it's perfectly okay to talk about the love of souls. The next question comes from Kat Cruel, and her question is, ever since I started reading your books about 4 years ago, I have increasingly become more in tune with my spirituality. I become more aware of energy around me, and I actually feel tangible energy. Also, recently I've started to become psychic, and this ability is growing. Have you seen this before in other people? Is this common? And the answer is yes, it's very common. We all have psychic and intuitive abilities, far beyond what we usually use. And with practice, these abilities can become more focused, more developed. But I also think it's important, even though these abilities can save us from danger and help us discern our spiritual path, to know that our goal is not just mastering psychic and intuitive abilities, but our goal is to reach an enlightened state of peacefulness and unconditional love and awareness. This is the important part, our spiritual development. Along the way, we develop and hone these psychic and intuitive abilities, and this is a good thing, and we should use these abilities. But the end is not the abilities, that's not the goal. The end is the spiritual enlightenment. The abilities will become stronger as we go along. And the last question is about prayer and the law of attraction, mind over matter, This comes from Phil Alexandros, and he asked, what do the masters say about prayer, the law of attraction, mind over matter, and other ways we have to attempt to better our lives? Can we change ourselves, our destiny, and our chosen path, lesson, or is it set in stone, no matter what we do? And to Phil and many others, keep asking this question, even though it's addressed in the books, but I understand this question will keep coming back. We have many possible futures, and we may decide to live 2 or 3 or 4 lifetimes in one, and that's perfectly fine, that's okay. There is a destiny, the key people in your life that you meet, perhaps very important points, destiny points in your life, these will happen. But what we decide as we reach these points, this is our free will. And as you use your free will to progress along your spiritual path, you'll be changing future lifetimes, the future of the present lifetime, all of these things. It is all the one path, the spiritual path, that takes us to our true destiny, which is to become enlightened, to not have to come back involuntarily anymore, to live lifetimes learning our lessons, but to come back in our highly developed state voluntarily to help other beings to progress along their spiritual paths until we all graduate. And that is really the goal. So it's good not to think of yourself as fixed in stone, because you can skip grades. This would be like going from the 4th grade to the 7th grade, or the 8th grade, or the 9th grade, that kind of thing. You can accelerate your progress, you can slow it up. This is up to you. In the end, we will all graduate, and our task is to help every other being to graduate as well. This concludes this session. Thank you very much, and we'll be speaking again in the future through this YouTube channel.